Hi guys. Today working on a John Deere 510. It's the backhoe loader. The original invoice on this thing was 1977. Actually doing the wet brakes on the on both sides of this machine. Wet brakes, if you're not familiar with them, are inside the rear transmission or transaxle on the backhoe. Doing the video because I haven't been able to see one that someone has gone in depth as to what it is they're doing. I know that each one of them are different, but I'll be doing the best I can, and maybe it'll help you out on your machine. I know that I've had guys out there with 310s and 410s, BC and Ds, probably a similar setup, but you know, slightly different. But I'm going to go through what it is that I've been doing so far. With the wet brake system, getting to it is a pretty big deal. It's not as simple as brakes on a car. It's inside the transmission, and if you can see, I've got one of the transaxles out here. They're very heavy, and this is actually where the transaxle meets. And what you don't see right now is you don't see the pistons that have the brake shoes and the brake material on them, along with a star disc, the pinion gear that comes out of the center there, and that's, let me get in a little bit closer so you can see, pinion gear that goes inside the center there, which is here. Your pinion comes out. Your each one of your brake pistons sit inside these openings here. There's a little O-ring that sits inside there, along with a paper gasket that makes your piston go in and out when the fluid comes out of this little bitty hole that's back in here, and it's in each one of them. But when it pushes out, it pushes on a sun disc, which I'll show you a little bit later on in this video. Pushes on a sun disc that also pushes on a brake plate that I'll show you later. Both of them are soaking in oil right now, so that the material is ready to actually go and be installed. On the opposite side, if I swing around to the back of this transaxle, you can actually see the pinion gears that are here. Let me see if I can spin them for you. You can see how they operate in there. But your brake actually sits in here, and the pinion gear runs in the center of this location right here. I'm just trying to frame you in camera. But your pinion gear runs in there, and then your sun disc sits in here along with that brake, the big brake plate, and they sandwich that sun disc to stop the machine. It's a lot of stuff to be able to get to go through to get to this. Obviously, you have to jack up the machine. If you can see, I've got two cinder block columns here and here that are holding up the back end of the machine, along with the outriggers that are set down. I've got a column that I put at the back of the transmission. I've got another one that's underneath the rear differential, and I've also got a jack stand that's underneath the front part of the transmission, just because when you're releasing these axles from the transmission that's over here in the center, you can see these locations right here where these bolts go through. This is actually what's holding it to the chassis. So you are releasing the entire center of the machine from the chassis. So these jacks that are back here are no longer doing any good for what you're doing on the inside of this machine. So it's very important that you support each one of these. You can see that I've blocked them up to make sure that I've got them wedged in pretty good, so it's not going to move. Some guys will actually lower this center section down, but I mean, just with what it is that I've got available to me, this is how I've done it. And let me walk around to the other side. I actually built out of cinder blocks and a pallet. This would be the other side platform that I've got the other one on, but I'll go through how I actually got it down out of this location a little bit later on. But for right now, I just wanted to start before I get too terribly messy. Might set up some tripods so I can film a little bit, so you guys can actually see, you know, what it is that I'm actually going through. Right now, I'm just making sure that everything's nice and clean. Cleaning out the pinions, just because I've gone through and I've cleaned everything that's in there while it's all open. It's also probably a good idea to while you're doing this to go ahead and change out your filters. Filters are here. I've gone ahead and my oil's all the way up there, but you've got a transmission filter that's up here. You've got a hydraulic filter, and you've also got a mid filter on the opposite side. It looks just like these, and you'll need a good long bar to be able to get those also. But let me move on and see what I can get to next, and I'll turn it on and show you.